Yeah, Emily found a way. This world is not my home, no. 'Cause my home has streets that I paved with gold. So why do I ever try to fit it? Keep circling back time and time again. Help me to find my way. I've been lost along the way. Help me to find a way to stay. Don't wanna run, don't wanna walk away. Help me to find my way. Help me to find my way. Help me to find a way to stay.
Yeah, I think everyone needs some help sometime. Help me to find my way. And that song is by Chicago's very own Garrett Body. They call him G Body, featuring vocalist Branford Marcellus. Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hope everyone's having a great day. You're listening to Intellectual Radio's Voices of Change, and my name is Jana, and I'll be your host this evening. We have a special show for you today. You know, it's Relationship Sunday. We have it once a month. And we have our relationship guru in the house, and his name is Khalid Scott, and I'm welcoming him to the studio. Welcome, Khalid Scott, LCSWCADCLPHA. Could you please tell the listening audience just a little bit about you?
Well, good evening. Hey. For those who don't know, again, my name is Khalid Scott. I am a licensed clinical social worker, just celebrating 29 years in this industry. And one of my platforms since being divorced as of 10 years ago is really understanding the dynamics of relationships. You know, you never know what your testimony truly is until you get tested. And my marriage and divorce tested me, right? And fast forward, now that I'm in private practice, primarily I service married couples. And I'm just on this quest. It's a personal quest and even a professional quest to say how we're going to get our relationships right. And it starts off for me with marriages, because the more healthier marriages we have, especially in the Black community, my hypothesis is the healthier our neighborhoods will be, our homes will be, neighborhoods will be, communities will be, if we start in the nucleus of the family. And I'm telling you, we got a lot of erasing, healing, and dealing and fixing to do. And I'm going to be a champion for this subject matter probably till I leave this earth.
So and we so much appreciate that, because, you know, we as a community needs healing. And I, like you, do believe that it starts with the family structure. Yeah. And our family structure appears to be broken down. But today we're going to specifically talk about a topic. You know, someone asked me, and if you're out there, make a comment, say hello to us. Hello, Carolyn. Carolyn said hello to both me and you. Hello. But make a comment. But specifically, we're going to be talking about the reasons. Now, we've talked about this topic, someone told me, ad nauseum, but that's okay, because of recent things that have happened. We're going to talk, you're going to, and you always kind of take the lead in this show, you're going to talk about why men cheat.
Yes. And someone may ask me, and I can understand when people say, I don't want to tune in and keep hearing about this negativity, this. I had a friend of mine, and I'm going to read you the text. I asked him, would he like to be a guest on the show tonight for me to interview him, because he wanted to educate me. And this is what he said: cheat is such a dark and negative word. In some cultures, monogamy is a negative connotation. In some groups, the rich and wealthy are allowed multiple relationships. Only the poor and middle class use that dark and demoralizing word. And I said, wow, okay. I said, well, interesting, buddy. Can I interview you tonight to touch upon this perspective? Because, man, you might have something to give us.
Right.
Unfortunately, I might be in the area with poor cell reception. Some might feel I would be coming in broken and stupid. LOL. So I said, okay, buddy. My thing is for folks, if you're not gonna ever be part of the solution, you know, you contribute to the problem. And that's one of my buddies who has stepped out on his marriage, you know. And again, people can protest how they like, but again, I know what my mission is. My mission is to educate, demonstrate, and create a new way of thinking that if I fall in love and marry somebody and be in a committed relationship, I stick to them.
Is he basically saying that cheating is a phenomenon among lower economic stratas? Is that what he's saying?
No, he was being
Okay.
a bonehead. I was just trying to say, Khalid, you always making us cheaters out here feel convicted, and that's such a negative connotation. And some people say, hey, you shouldn't, being monogamous is wrong. Why shouldn't you be out here and be free to see other people, even if you in a committed relationship? And so I laugh it off and like, okay, but that's why I told you before, Janice, that oftentimes my married male friends who are all in their 50s, they come by my house, sit and talk with me, and they lay it all out. Khalid, I've been having an affair. Khalid, I don't know how to say goodbye to my mistress. I love my wife, but you know, and I always redirect them to go back home and save your marriage. Go back and save your relationship. Your kids, your family, our society needs healthy marriages, healthy relationships, because we don't have them. Janice, I did a post about one of the affairs we're going to talk about, right? Which is the Nia Long and her, you know, long-term fiance.
Right.
And I got over 200 comments. Now, when I do my general everyday post that uplifts and inspires, I might get 2 comments. But anytime something about the salaciousness of cheating comes up, we own it. So we're very interested in it.
We are.
And again, I think it's powerful for me as a man to talk about it. And hey, I can talk about it. Why? Because, Janice, I'm a product of an affair. My 38-year-old father had a baby by my mother, his 17-year-old mistress. I grew up seeing my mother be a mistress. So I know the other side of it, you know? And wow, it's not getting better. It's not getting better.
No.
And that's why I keep talking about it and I know it gets tiresome, but we're going to keep talking about it. And thank you for giving me or sharing your platform with me to discuss this.
Okay, I kind of want to get into it because I've been kind of talking to individuals, both men and women, about it, and
okay,
and I want to know if this thought ever crossed your mind. A lot of men had a common thread, and they said even men that were about to get married or the day of their wedding or engaged, they said the thought that they would be with just that one woman for the rest of their life and nobody else was haunting. For them, I don't know if the variety or if they thought they were, if it's kind of suffocating. I didn't hear that common thread with women. Women cheated for other reasons, but I did hear it with men. When you got married or when you were about to get married or shortly after you got married, did you ever think, well, dang, I'm gonna be with this woman for the rest of my life?
Yes, I did. And I was happy about it. I
Okay.
was happy about that. I wouldn't have to go to meet and greets. I was happy that I didn't have to get romantic referrals where a friend of mine was like, well, Khalid, you would be a good match for my cousin. Or Khalid, I got a good girlfriend who I think y'all would really hit it off. For me, my Walt Disney movie had came true. Wow. I married a beautiful, smart woman, and man, we're gonna go into the moonlight and the sunrise on our magical horse and live happily ever after.
So boredom, you don't find in your therapeutic practice that men tend to feel like I'm going to be with this one woman for the rest of my life. Is that even natural? You don't hear that they're bored.
Yes, I hear all of it.
Okay.
I hear all of it. So they think about how most men, majority of men go into marriage the night before they get married. Their closest male friends and family members take them to a strip bar.
Yes.
They take them to a hotel room where naked, beautiful women dance in front of them and may have sex with them the night before they're getting married. That's how we start off marriages.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. So you're going in wrong. And when I got married, my best friend took me to a strip bar in Vegas. I sat there and we was there maybe 30 minutes because I was like, brother, this, but I get it. It's tradition.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, come on, man, let's go and get something to eat. So again, we're starting off on the wrong end. We're starting off wrong.
Okay.
Yes.
And I don't want to jump around, but I know you kind of mentioned the Emi and the Nia Long thing. And one of the things that I really disliked about it, there was a podcaster on, and he was basically giving a body count for Nia Long, saying that she's been. Did you hear him?
Yes.
Saying that she's been with all these NFL players, NBA players, entertainers, 50 Cent, whoever. But yet, I remember many years ago, there was a famous basketball player. He may have exaggerated, but I believe he said he had over 10,000 women. I don't know how true that was, but I believe he said it. But with
Wilt
Nia,
Chamberlain.
Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah.
And it was 22,000.
It was when?
22,000 women.
I thought it was 10,000. It was
22,000 women.
Now, he may have been stretching the truth, but whatever. I'm just saying 22,000. Come on.
Okay.
But they were doing a body count on her, and the guy basically said that maybe this is all she could get because she was a pass around, and it was somewhat offensive.
Yeah. Janice, women can't ever win. Y'all can't win with no scenarios.
True.
God forbid if you slept with more than two guys, you're damaged goods. So, and I think that's why women have now said, you know what? I'm tired. Let me go out and have my fun. Let me go and get me a little young Tyreek, But again, you all do it and do it well. Yeah. Y'all not sloppy with it. We're sloppy with it. See, that's the other part to it. Cheating, stepping out is bad enough. But then when your mate is sloppy about it, where it comes to light, and from what I'm hearing, just a rumor mill, how it got discovered is the coach went to the woman's house and they had a conversation. And I guess she had that bell ringer, whatever, that videotape shoot from the door. Mm-hmm. And the husband ended up seeing the video tape.
I heard that.
Why would you go to the woman's house?
Technology has busted a lot of people, believe me.
Absolutely. This is satanic right here. This phone right here, Absolutely. And so, Janice, let's get into it then.
Okay, let's
go. So many folks say, well, why, brother? Why? Brother, you are with the black man's Marilyn Monroe. What black man doesn't love Nia Long? And she's our old school sex symbol from the 90s.
Right.
We grew up with her. She's that roundaway cute girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she ain't as, you know, unattainable as the Halle Berry type. You know what I'm saying? But she looks like the girl you went to high school with. You know, she looks like, you know, your little cousin's best friend, you know? And how could that man cheat on her?
Because I don't think looks have anything to do with it.
It has nothing to
all
do.
the most beautiful women that you can think of, whoever you think is beautiful, have been cheated on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's never about the looks. I've talked to women who've been cheated on, and they was like, Khalid, when I found out my husband or man cheated, I went into Sherlock Holmes mode. I went and looked her up because I needed to know, what did she have going on that was better than me? And I've heard women say that, Khalid, the woman was like 50 pounds heavier than me. You know what I'm saying? I went on her Facebook page and I'm like, what? Understand something. When somebody wants something that you have, they will pull out every trick in the Pandora's box to get them. And what happens is, when men are victims of pillow talk. So when I'm going out and messing with another woman, I'm going to tell her so if I'm married to you, Janice, I'm going to tell the woman who I want to go to bed with outside our relationship all of your negatives, all of your shortcomings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is, as the young lady who's taking this information in order to get Khalid, I got to do the opposite of what Janice is not doing.
But why do they do that? Okay. Let's go there. You're saying, if you were married to me and if you were with another woman, you would tell all my negatives to this woman. So
Yes.
She would get her arsenal, say, I want to be everything but that. But why would you mention me? Why don't you just, if you're gonna be out there doing it, why do you, it puts the wife or the fiance or whoever at such a disadvantage. I guess that's just how it is.
Right. Remember, I'm trying to convince this human being to play my way. I already know that she's desperate for affection, desperate for love, desperate for companionship. And so, or she might be in a relationship, but she's not getting from what her man that she wants. And so for me, as the one who wants my cake and ice cream too, well, I have to make you, my wife, seem, I have to vilify you. So that she becomes the hero in this movie.
Got it.
So Janice is always at work. Janice is always in church. Janice is always on the phone with her sisters. And they don't like me. You know what I'm saying? And she not paying attention to me. And as you see, I'm a 270-pound man and I like to eat good food. And she don't even cook for me because she one of those new women. Do you know how to cook, babe? Yes, I know how to cook chicken, macaroni, cornbread, sweet iced tea, macaroni and cheese, greens, candy yams, and anything else you want. And I wear a negligee while I'm cooking.
And Janice wears sweats, right?
Right.
You got that. Oh, that's funny. Okay.
And also, you got to remember, the society we live in tells men every day, go for it.
Yep.
Go for it.
You want it, go for it.
Go for it. And what happens is, because infidelity has been normalized, has been so accepted, has been signed off on, then we do it. More than likely, Nia Long is not going to break up with him.
Why do you say that? You don't think so?
12 years, son, broken relationships, 51 years old. He's worth almost maybe anywhere from 12 to 20 million dollars, and all men cheat anyway. I'm not going to give somebody else what I don't worked hard for. I don't got 12 years in this game, and I'm going to give it up to somebody on the side? No, I'm not. All men cheat. Look, if my best girlfriends are Gabrielle Union and Sanai Latham, and I don't know, whoever, man, look what they going through. So how I'm going to find a Prince Charming Johnson who is going to be faithful to me? So I know the monster that's in my house already. I don't know the monster that's standing outside. I know his claws. I know his fangs. I know his fur. I know his red eyes. I've adjusted myself to it. So yes, I'm going to be a little embarrassed. And then look at this. When something like this happens, the celebrity becomes even more popular.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens is people, because they're interested, they go and say if you're a singer. So they go and buy more of your music. They go on iTunes and purchase your music. Or they go to Netflix and watch your movies. Mm-hmm. So see, it does a twisted benefit to you when something like this happens, right? Mm-hmm. And then look for somebody like me. I'm getting paid over $100 an hour trying to teach married people how to love each other. So and I've been telling you this for a year now. Mm-hmm. My business is booming. My business is booming right now. And I hate it. I hate that I have to see beautiful couples going through so much agony when they should be just loving on each other. But I will not ever be out of business, Janice. I will never be out of business.
You still have a waiting list?
You said what now?
Do you still have a waiting list?
I sure do. I absolutely do. I have on my Psychology Today profile page, I am closed down. I have a wait list. I still get calls every week. I get calls every week. So this is why I'm addressing this. If this had no fire under it, I would shut this discussion down. Mm-hmm. But Janice, how long I've been telling you all men cheat theory?
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that in totality, but I understand what you're saying.
Right, but literally the week after me and you do this show, something jumps off.
Every time. Every time. And you say, see, I told you.
Right. Told you so, told you so, told you so. I wanted to ask, I have 5 top questions. So when I was getting the idea of this show, I called out to 11 women that I know who have been cheated on. Mm-hmm. And I said, send me questions. Okay. And so I got over 40 questions. So I trimmed it down to the top 5 questions because all of them kind of were the same. And so I wanted to go and just address these 5 questions. So was it anything you wanted to bring up before I could delve into these questions?
No, we want to get into the conversation.
Okay, so let's go. Okay, first question. Why do men who have amazing, dedicated, and committed partners still feel the need to step out on the relationship? That was the number one question amongst all 11 women, right?
You know what, and I think that's generally what all women think, but I think there's a couple things going on here. Sometimes women and men have an inflated opinion of themselves. I'm not saying that they're not dynamic and professional and make a lot of money and good housekeepers and good women. I'm not saying that. But oftentimes there's underlying problems that maybe we don't even want to address. There may be issues of pride, there may be issues of other problems, or maybe a lot of guys have other issues that has nothing to do with how sharp his woman is, and he's going to cheat anyway. So it doesn't matter who she is or what she's doing or how sharp she is.
Absolutely. And that's the answer right there. It has everything to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
He would use bits and pieces of your deficits to justify the cheating.
And everybody has deficits, and anybody who's with you has tapped into those.
Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's on him. It's on him. You could be when you go on a first date and you tell somebody, I have a top 5 list of my needs and wants from my partner. And you could basically fill 4 out of those 5 needs. And 1 month later, after y'all start going together, that person could cheat on you with someone. Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just it, because I can.
Right.
It's because I can. It's because I can. So I wish folks who get cheated, but it's a natural human idealism that it has to be a deficit in order to make somebody who's supposed to love me and I love them to go out in the streets and look for a replacement. Right? But it's not.
No, it doesn't have to be.
It could just plain be, it's just my habit. Mm-hmm. It's my pattern. And even we do ourselves a disservice, because if you're dating a guy who has, I don't know, 8 kids by 6 women, and you consciously date him,
knowing that,
so folks would probably look at, well, the red flag was just in his bio. What did you think you were going to do differently? But again, we like challenges as human beings. It's going to be something about my sweet potatoes is going to make Khalid not go out and eat somebody else's sweet potatoes.
And that's another thing about pride. Some of us have such pride that we think, oh, but when he got me, he got everything he needs, so he won't be like he was with anybody else, even though historically that's his pattern.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in talking about patterns, let's transition to question number 2, another popular one.
Okay.
How can you tell if your man is cheating? Okay. I don't care if a man has a PhD and astrodynamics, neuroscience,
whatever,
astrology, that he has read every book in Harold Washington Library, right?
Right.
Men are slaves to our patterns. We are slaves to our patterns. The minute I do something that's different than what I normally do, that tends to be a telltale sign that I might be doing something out here in the streets. And typically, it's a change that appears to be for the better. It's going to the gym now.
Working out more, yeah.
Right. I have a gray beard, but I go to Walgreens because Khalid told me to get just for men, and that damn beard black and shiny now.
I look crazy. Okay.
Absolutely. But I love it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. Right? I'm going to Macy's, and typically women shop for their men, but I'm going to Macy's looking for some new outfits.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Something different.
I'm spending a lot of time when normally I'm usually at home. I'm hanging out with Fred and them more often.
Of course. Or picking up that extra hobby, fishing or golfing or whatever.
Absolutely. 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 And women know these things. That's why, wow, if we have a cellular phone plan, all you got to do is go in, create an account, and you can see all the telephone numbers that's been called, receivables, and
you said, wait now, so you said that if a woman and a man has a combined account, all they have to do is do what?
If they have a family plan on. So if
Family
me and
plan,
you
right,
are
right.
on a family plan,
Right.
you can go and look and see all the telephone numbers coming in.
Yeah, it's call detail. Did you hear that, ladies? I just want to say it again. Okay.
Right. And so what happens is women will go line for line.
Who is this? Who is this? Yep.
They will look, and then they was like, "Oh, I see a pattern." They'll ever go on the other side, like he called her at 12:36 a.m.
Yeah.
Most women can get into our charge cards. So with charge cards, you go and look up, you can see what has been purchased.
Right.
And see our silly selves, we'll go ahead and get the receipt from Victoria's Secret, and we'll leave it in our pocket.
And you'd be like, I didn't get no present. I didn't get no Victoria's Secret.
Right. Or again, I'm not a woman, but I've always been told you all have a sixth sense about things.
Yeah.
You all have a sixth sense about things. So what happens is that sixth sense kicks in. You choose to either ignore it or say, you know what, or dismiss it. But the writing is on the wall, typically with men, for the average guy.
Right.
Now somebody on some other level, man, they can get away with it, but not really with men, because again, we are slaves to our patterns of behavior. Okay. All right. Number 3, why does society look down on women who cheat but praises men for it? There are 273 names for women who are promiscuous.
How many? 273 names.
273 names for women who are promiscuous. BH, all garden tool and everything. The derogatory name for men who cheat is man. Somebody say, tell me differently.
Differently.
Okay, well then you add player.
Differently.
Okay. Well, those are 2 I know. You name me some more that you know.
Hoe.
Oh, okay.
Garden tool.
Okay, got you.
I mean, there's some names for men that are out there that are just
absolutely. But the point I'm making is this: we hold you all to a certain level. God forbid you go out of that norm, you walk around with that scarlet letter on your forehead, right? Look at third world countries. I mean, look at like what happens to women who cheat over in Saudi Arabia and Egypt and stuff. They're killed. They're killed. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, and so this didn't start with us. This started centuries ago.
Khalid, and I think maybe the origin, because I've thought about that a lot, even though we know that there's a double standard. There's a double standard for males and females. But I think that particular thing started primarily because women of childbearing age, they want to make sure paternity of who the father is. You don't have to watch Paternity Court or any of the judge pictures to know that, man, some of these people lie so well. I look at him and I'm like, okay, he's a father. He's a father. And he's really not. So I think when you're overlapping and having relations with multiple men when you're in childbearing age and not using any kind of birth control, because birth control only came into existence legally. I mean, people were doing other things since 1962. That's not been that long.
Right.
So that's probably why they thought, that, I'm not saying after their childbearing age, but when they're childbearing age, you want to make sure of who that daddy is. But to your point, because I got offended with the body count issue with Nia, but and there'll always be a double standard. I don't think that's ever going away.
Sure will. Absolutely. All right. Let's see. Why lose everything you've prayed and worked so hard for, i.e., family, career, home, etc., to cheat? Powerful question.
That is it because they don't think they'll get caught? I don't know.
We don't care if we get caught.
They don't care because
Yeah.
typically they're forgiven and they get empowered to do it more.
There you go.
Holy yes. I mean,
Yes.
okay.
When your man cheats on you and the minute he hears, I forgive you, basically what you have done as his woman is you signed an invisible letter that says, do it to me again. Signed, Jana.
Dang. Would you say do it to me again?
Yeah. Because what happens is people need natural consequences when they do something wrong. And what happens is when I'm caught, like anything, I feel it in my gut and I go into how I'm going to deal with this, how I'm going to fix it. But it's always about you. Me. How am I going to get out of this?
Mm-hmm.
And then you might have the conscience to say, oh my God, I just hurt her. Oh my God, I just hurt her. But see, then it's that little devil in your head, right? And he's like, well, it's kind of her fault. Huh? She walking around with sweat clothes on. She won't make me chicken and macaroni and green beans and cornbread. She know I like Jiffy cornbread, but she be making that hot water cornbread, and it ain't sweet.
Oh my gosh.
So, man, it's kind of her fault too. Like when I'm talking about infidelity in my counseling sessions, husbands do this. Babe, I cheated. God damn. I did it.
That's what they do.
When you gonna get over it? When you gonna get over it? Either you forgive me or you don't. Because they'll deal with you attacking them. They'll deal with you convicting them until they like, I'm tired of it now. I'm tired of it. You let me come back. So I thought you forgave me. I told you I'm not going to do it again. But keep bringing it up, you're going to force me to go back out there. If I'm lying, somebody put it in the comments section. So again, it benefits us. Plus, remember, infidelity, cheating, it has it's an aphrodisiac. It's an adrenaline rush. I can still do it. I still got what it takes.
Yeah.
And then the sad part too, Janice, is your sisters out here are co-signing it because men ain't sleeping with air.
Well, I find, and they'll probably, if they may make comment on this, but I find, women have a different attitude toward cheating. When women cheat, they want to take my man. Okay. When a man cheat, if I'm cheating with a man and he's cheating, he just want to get busy. You know what I mean? Yeah. He just do the physical thing. But a woman wants to take my man and take me down with it. It's a whole different attitude. I know women may disagree, but this is what I find.
Absolutely. And I was looking for my book, and of course I don't have it handy with me. One of the best books I ever read, Janice, was this book by she was a video vixen. Her name was Corinne Stefan.
I remember her.
Yes, and she wrote a book called Confessions of a Video Vixen, and folks laughed at it, but then it became #1 on New York Times bestseller list.
That was #1?
#1 on New York Times bestseller list.
Okay.
Out of all the books written.
And she talked about little things that she entanglements with all kind of people, all kind of.
So that tells you we're salacious based.
Yeah.
We like filth. We like dirt. We like chaos. We like taboo. Right?
Yeah.
After she wrote the book, she still had male celebrities coming after her. So she wrote a tell-all book.
Dropping names. She dropped names.
Absolutely. And incidents. Like she said, when Shaq made love to her, because he was so big, he sweated out the mattress.
Oh.
So she was vivid in her description. I read the book in one night. I couldn't put it down. It was so good. And I just bought the audio, so when I'm driving, I can listen to it again.
Oh my
And for me, I was reading it as a clinician, like, wow, this young woman who was sexually abused as a kid had all these back-to-back domestic violence relationships, and her revenge on men were to be this vixen, this temptress who brought down married men.
Yeah. And she did.
And she did it. And she did. She even married the Winslow boy.
Yes, she did.
From Family Matters.
Yeah, she did.
And again, had other affairs with other men who knew this woman has been with hundreds of men, and I'm still getting with her. So again, I'm telling you what us men are capable of doing. But we called her out her name.
Yeah, I know.
We called her all kind of names.
People talked about her. Yeah.
I even introduced the book to my book club, and everybody's like, we don't want to read about a tramp. So we did a silent vote. Unanimously, everybody wanted to let that be the next book of the month. And I hosted it at my house.
Yeah.
It was the largest turnout ever for our book club meeting.
Really? Video. I remember
the next largest was Steve Harvey's book. But I'm just telling you, when it comes to relationships and the pros and cons, we're always going to be interested. All right?
That's true.
So, number 5, the last question. Why do you think women, side pieces, mistresses, co-sign this behavior? That's a long laundry list.
It is. It benefits them. I mean, I understand.
Right. Or it's a Band-Aid effect. At least I have some man with me giving me some time. And as the mistress or the side piece, I get the better treatment. Meaning I get taken out, maybe. Maybe I get the little gifts. I'm getting all the compliments. I'm getting all this high energetic porno style sex that he can't do with his wife at home. So, and then for me to do this, I have to train my thought pattern. Well, if she was all that, then he wouldn't be in my bed. So she must be a trip. Or, I'm not married. I'm not cheating on nobody. He's coming to be with me. And he laying on my pillow telling me he's about to divorce her. So, again, we make this work for us. We make it work for us. How many of us who has a cheating friend or a family member and we sit them down and said, please stop doing this, or I'm going to leave you alone. I'm not going to deal. I can't be friends with somebody out here cheating. So somebody like Khalid, I'm sitting down talking to my male friends like, go home to your wife. How many Khalids is out there telling their boys to do that? And I believe we're out here doing
I hope a lot of them are.
I believe so, especially if we know the wives and we care about her.
Right.
But also men are logical and rational. We know I can tell this dude to stop all day. That don't mean he gonna stop.
True.
One of my friends literally, and I mean, I preached to him for 3 hours. About a month later, he said, you know what, Khalid, I was really feeling what you said to me, and I appreciate it. But Khalid, I'm a Scorpio, and I'm going to do me, man. I'm going to do me, I'm sorry, Khalid. And I said, okay.
Well, let me ask you something, Khalid. Since you've been talking about all the reasons that men cheat, and that's what this is all about, and all the ways that they cheat and how they get empowered by cheating and how they really have no fear when they sit in your chair with their wife across from them and said, "So I cheated, GD. What you gonna do?" That is just so disrespectful. Okay, so as a clinician, when you have women that are your clients, what do you tell them?
What I tell them is, please. So if I'm talking to wives, the first advice I'm giving them is, please enter individual counseling, because
I
you have
thought you believe in joint counseling, individual counseling.
Hear what I just said. When I'm sitting there with married couples and then I'm talking to the wives, I'm telling them also enter individual counseling.
Oh, both. Okay.
Because you got to work on you. Because there's a deficit of, this man has slept with 5 other women that you know of, and you let him back in your house.
Mm-hmm.
You let him back in your bedroom, and you let him back on top of you.
So you need to deal with that on a personal level to find out why you keep letting that happen.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Absolutely. Because again, a man will, men, we go by you all's cues every time. Every time. If women shut it down, like the movie Chirac, remember the premise of the movie was women hold back sex, which would then make the men stop committing crimes. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. And us men are arrogant enough to know this. We know that I can find women at the job, at the gym, at the grocery store, at church.
Oh my.
The man on the pulpit is the biggest cheater in the damn neighborhood.
Oftentimes you're right. You're right.
So what's going to make me stop? I get praised as a man for cheating, for body count. Goofies like Khalid and that dude over there, they get talked about for being faithful.
That's true. What do they call them? Simps or something?
Simps.
Yeah. Is that the new name they call
Future? The rapper Future gets praised.
Yeah.
His album comes out, goes #1. But the man who's helping take care of Future's son, he gets called a goofy, a simp, a punk. So what does this tell young men? So when I'm with my 20-something and 30-something-year-old mentees and I'm telling them behave themselves, they like, Coach, wait a minute. Right. Men your age taught us how to do this.
Right.
Little boys are cheating on girls in high school with their friends.
That's not funny.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You got relatives sleeping with each other. So again, I'm going to always have business. And Janice, if this show lasts 10 years, there will always be 12 relationship Sundays, last Sundays of the year. I promise you, I got content for you for the next year.
I look forward to all that content, and I hope the listening audience do too. I hope they look forward to it too.
And you know what? And I get it too. So, audience, if you have suggestions for topics, show topics, send them.
Yeah, for relationships.
I'll address anything. But right now, this is a plague on us. This is a plague on us, and can't nobody tell me no differently. This is a plague on us.
You know, it's not really just it's a plague on us. It's a plague on everyone. When you think about with Queen Elizabeth's death recently, the reason why they don't like her son because of his cheating with his wife Camilla, right? I mean, that's what I mean. I can't stand Camilla either. I'll be honest. And
look how Diana looked as compared to Camilla.
Right, and that's okay. Exactly, just like you were saying, looks got nothing to do with it. And Diana wasn't an angel because she had a thing with a married man too. You know what I'm just saying. But you know, yeah,
all men cheat. All men cheat.
I don't think all men could possibly cheat, but they don't cheat all the time. What about that?
Okay, next month, bring on the one guy you know who does it. Bring him
Who
on.
doesn't cheat? Wait. Are you saying all men cheat all the time?
No, absolutely not. But bring on a man who's
never cheated.
Who has never cheated. Bring him on.
Oh my God, please, listening audience, if you're out there and if you can hear me within earshot, if you know of any man that has been faithful, and we're not talking about when he was young in college. I'm talking about if he was engaged and or married. That's all I'm talking about.
Bring him on next month.
I would love to bring him on. Please give me his name. Khalid, I want you to stay right there. I'm going to try to play a commercial.
All right.
This internet has been acting really, really whack. In fact, it's going kind of slow and stuff now.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't work, I'm going to bring us back, but give me just a minute. There's a grant writer out there who has grants that she knows about for new businesses, for not-for-profit, and she's a grant writer. So I'm about to try to play her commercial. Let's try this.
Nonprofit, for-profit, or church, our company now offers grant writing services. In addition, we offer grant researching, where we find the funding sources for you. We also offer in-house grant training courses for your board or your team. Give us a call today at 312-371-2012. Again, that's 312-371-2012. Or send us an email at ysongmaker@gmail.com. ysongmaker@gmail.com. Visit us at our website, www.ysongmaker.com. This is Yoki Songmaker, the Grant Guru.
Again, those of you that are looking for money to start that business, you got that dream, you want some funding, Yoki is a grant writer and she's offering her services, and that's what that commercial was all about. And I'll be playing it. She's going to be one of my sponsors, so I really want to push that. And I think it's a good thing. Matter of fact, I have her writing one for me, and I'll keep you posted on how all that's going. Back with Khalid Scott, the one that says all men cheat. And someone had a real smart thing. This is my sister. She said, you'll have a lonely show. That's not funny, and I'm not laughing. I know someone out there knows somebody that has never cheated on their wife. That ain't fun. You know what, Romain? On their wife or on their fiance. Now, wait, now hold it now before you laugh. Keep in mind, I can only have like 8 people on the show. So if it's more than 8 guys, if it's more than 6 guys, I'm gonna have to cut it down. So I have to talk to them. So if you know guys that have never, that's a book. I remember.
Confessions of a Video Vixen. Telling you can't put this book down when you start. It's a page.
I remember. I have never read it, but because I didn't know it was number 1, because there was so much talk about it. Wasn't that like in the 90s? Because there was so much talk about it. I heard about every single story and every single encounter.
Yeah. So came out, can't see anything right now. 2005. Came out in 2005.
Wow.
Yeah. And her 2 books after this were bestsellers as well.
Were they the same content about what she did? Okay.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah.
Did you read those too, Khalid?
I sure did.
Okay.
I sure did. And the thing is, I feel sorry for this baby because she is the manifestation of sex and mistrust and abuse. She's the walking billboard of when you don't get help, and how if we keep doing what we're doing, this is how our girls are going to wind up. This is how us girls, and if you don't have a daddy to grab hold on to you. This is how look who are the popular girls in our society now. Look who are the popular girls.
Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion. Okay. Well,
So I think I'm on to something here.
Well, since you're onto something and we only got a few minutes left, you can wrap up. I know you can wrap up your show. wrap up your show and lessons learned.
Okay. So somebody may ask, well, Khalid, what can we do then? What can we do? And the real answer, and the short and long term answer, that is self-accountability. If you know you cannot be in a committed relationship, don't get into a relationship.
Come on. Just be out there playing.
I talk about my buddy all the time, who's a player, the 8 kids with the 6 women. And I remember asking him a few years ago, I was on my way to a wedding, and he happened to call me when I was on my way to a wedding. And I was like, hey, bro, haven't you ever wanted to be somebody's husband? And I remember because I was going through the High Park, and I remember his answer. He said, Khalid, why would you want me to hurt a beautiful Black woman like that? And I'm like, bro, what does that mean? He's like, Khalid, I love a variety of women. And if I was to get married, I would sleep with the bridesmaids.
Oh, my. Well, he knew
himself.
So
I don't need to be nobody's husband. And I believed him when he said it. And I'll never question him again, because at least he's honest enough to say it. Ladies, if there's the red flags, believe them. That's why God throws them out to us.
Mm-hmm.
He gives us the red flags on everything. Just pay attention to them. And number one, know that you're worthy. I'm not going to be shared. I'm not going to be second. That's not the place to be. Everybody want to be number one. You know? And just be honest. And break the curses that have messed all of us up. I did not grow up with a dad. I have 5 siblings that I don't even know who they are, because my father chose to sleep with multiple women other than his wife.
Wow.
I have 5 aunties and uncles who I don't even know who they are, because my granddaddy decided to cheat on my grandmother with her friends. Guys, we got to do something better. Make it whereas I don't make no more money off of being a marriage therapist. Make it that I don't have to keep telling people to go and fix themselves. Take away my job. And then that shows improvement when I'm not needed anymore. And God bless.
Thank you,
If
Khalid.
we really believe in God, let's act like it. Follow his way.
Come on, Khalid. Woo! Come on. That was passionate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I felt that. And I hope all of you felt it too. Khalid will be back next month. Again, if you have relationship suggestions, feel free to give them to me. We will be open to take them. And also, don't forget, because I want to prove something to Khalid. I would bet him, but I don't want to have any bad vices online and on the show. But I would bet him, but I bet we're going to have men on here during Relationship Sunday next week that have never cheated in their marriage or in their as being engaged. I'm sure we're going to find that. We will be back next week. We're going to have a live band in studio performing. So make sure you guys do this. Make sure to check us out next week right here on Intellectual Radio, Voices of Change. You guys have a blessed week, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Take care, everybody. Be blessed.